The chandelier lights flickered softly over the long oak tables at the upscale Italian restaurant in downtown Atlanta, casting a warm glow on the crisp white linens and vases of fresh orchids. It was our rehearsal dinner, just days before the wedding, and the air hummed with the clink of silverware and muffled laughter from relatives. Marcus held the door for me as I maneuvered my wheelchair inside, his hand lingering on my shoulder with that quiet reassurance I'd come to rely on. I caught his eye and smiled, but the knot in my stomach tightened the moment I spotted my parents at the head of the room. My father, Richard, was shaking hands like he was campaigning for office, his politician's grin fixed in place. My mother, Lydia, waved vaguely in my direction, more like acknowledging a distant acquaintance than her own daughter. "There she is," Richard boomed, but he turned away mid-sentence to greet an uncle, leaving the words hanging like an unfinished thought. A waiter, clearly briefed by my mother, guided us not to the central table where my sister Sophia was already the center of attention, laughing brightly amid a cluster of cousins, but to a corner spot tucked away near the kitchen doors. "More comfortable here," Lydia called over with that saccharine concern that always masks something sharper. Comfortable? It was exile wrapped in velvet. Marcus leaned in close, his breath warm against my ear. "Don't let it get to you. This is our night." I nodded, but inside, a familiar ache bloomed. They'd already reframed the evening as theirs, not mine. The room felt alive with polished charm, glasses tinkling, scents of garlic and basil wafting, but underneath, a current of unease hummed, like the distant rumble of thunder you ignore until the storm hits. As the appetizers arrived, bruschetta drizzled with balsamic, plates of antipasti, my father stood, tapping his glass with a fork. The room quieted. "I'd like to toast someone extraordinary," he said, his voice carrying that authoritative warmth. My heart lifted for a split second. Maybe this time. Acknowledgement. But then he pivoted toward Sophia. Her promotion at the marketing firm is a testament to her brilliance, her grace. She's the pride of this family. Applause rippled through the room. Sophia ducked her head modestly, but I knew that glow in her eyes. She thrived on it. Not a whisper about me, the bride-to-be. Not a nod to the wedding looming. I gripped my napkin under the table, forcing a smile that felt like glass cracking. Marcus squeezed my hand. "This isn't fair," he murmured. "It's like they've turned your rehearsal into her spotlight." In Southern families like ours, events often blended into group affairs. But this wasn't blending. It was hijacking. Later, during the main course, tender osso buco and risotto, a small mishap stung like salt in a wound. A server set an extra place setting in front of me, assuming the spot was vacant. A cousin chuckled. "Thought we had an empty chair here." Lydia smoothed it over with a light laugh. "Oh, Elena won't mind." I leaned toward Marcus. "See?" Invisible in my own celebration. He nodded grimly. "I see it. But we won't let them dim you." His words were a lifeline, but the hurt burrowed deep. Invisibility wasn't just oversight, it was a quiet erasure, the kind that chips away at your soul without leaving bruises. As dessert plates were cleared, tiramisu dusted with cocoa, the evening wound down. But the tension lingered. Driving home, I stared out the window at the city lights blurring past. "If they can steal tonight," I whispered to Marcus. "What's stopping them from stealing the wedding?" The weight followed me into sleep. Dreams tangled with echoes of applause not meant for me. Morning came heavy, sunlight filtering through the blinds of our apartment. Marcus was up, brewing coffee, the rich aroma pulling me from bed. "Church might help reset," he suggested gently. I agreed, though doubt gnawed. At the historic Baptist church in Midtown, my parents were the epitome of grace, Richard's arm around Lydia, Sophia beside them, All smiles and nods to parishioners. Hymns swelled. But my mind wandered to the silences that spoke louder than sermons. After service, in the fellowship hall with its buffet of casseroles and sweet tea, my friend Carla pulled me aside. "Sophia's been eyeing Marcus weirdly," she whispered urgently. At the engagement party, she was all touches and laughs, too close. I brushed it off with a forced chuckle. She's just dramatic. But Carla's eyes narrowed. "I've seen jealousy like that. It festers." Her words planted seeds of unease, ones that twisted as the brunch dragged on. Relatives chattered about Sophia's latest successes, how she'd make a stunning bride someday. No one glanced my way. Richard beamed at her, pride evident. I sipped my tea, hiding the bitterness. How do you battle being overlooked in your own life? Marcus's hand on mine grounded me. "You're my everything," he said softly. But as a family friend approached, mistaking Sophia for the bride, "You two look perfect together." The room tilted. Gasps followed. Sophia feigned embarrassment.
"No."
"It's Elena's day." Lydia chuckled. "Easy mix-up." Heat flooded my face. This wasn't confusion. It was a reflection of their hidden wishes. I steadied my voice. "I'm the bride, and I bring more than looks, resilience, heart." The friend apologized, but the line was drawn. Marcus's eyes shone with pride. As we left, he admitted, "That hurt me too." In the car, I exhaled. Public slights in tight-knit communities lingered like fog. The knives were sharpening, and I sensed the deepest cuts were yet to come. 2 days later, Marcus drove me to the bridal boutique on Peachtree Street, the spring air thick with the scent of blooming dogwoods and the hum of city traffic. The shop was a haven of silk and tulle, sunlight streaming through lace curtains, carrying hints of vanilla from nearby candles. This was my final fitting, a moment that should spark joy. Instead, Sophia's presence behind me felt like a shadow lengthening. She tagged along to help, her voice honeyed. But I knew her support came laced with barbs. The seamstress, Miss Ellis, greeted me warmly. "The gown suits you perfectly," she said, helping me into the flowing A-line dress of soft chiffon with pearl beading. In the mirror, I saw not vulnerability, but poise. Despite the wheelchair, I felt empowered. Yes. Ellis stepped out for adjustments, leaving Sophia and me alone. That's when she slipped into a sample gown, a shimmering gold number that hugged her figure. She twirled before the mirror, positioning herself beside me. Shoppers nearby murmured approvals, when even assuming she was the bride. My chest constricted. This wasn't play, it was invasion. "Enjoying the role play?" I asked evenly. Sophia smiled sweetly. "Just imagining." Don't overreact. That phrase, "don't overreact," was their family's dismissal tactic. Gaslighting disguised as calm. The mirror captured it all. Me seated, composed, her towering, radiant. It echoed the narrative they'd pushed, Sophia the star, me the sidelined. I straightened. Mirrors show shells, not spirits. Drawing from a quote I'd held close, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." I wheeled forward, centering myself, pushing her reflection aside. "You can try on dresses, Sophia, but my life, it won't fit." Her smile wavered. Marcus entered then, freezing at the scene. "What's this?" Sophia laughed it off. "Sister fun." But he saw through it, stepping to my side. "Only one bride here, Miss Ellis returned, sensing the chill, and we proceeded. Leaving the shop, clarity hit. Sophia didn't want to share my light. She wanted to eclipse it. That evening, at my parents' sprawling home in Buckhead, the dining room glowed under crystal chandeliers. the table laden with roast beef and fine wines. Sophia sat flanked by Richard and Lydia, her plate heaped generously while mine was sparse. Conversation flowed around her ideas for the wedding, as if she were planning it. Marcus stayed close. But I felt the build-up, like storm clouds gathering. Mid-meal, Lydia turned to me with feigned concern. The venue might be tricky with accessibility. It was a jab at my wheelchair, veiled as care. I met her gaze. I've navigated worse barriers, like family doubt. Tension thickened. Richard steered to Sophia's achievements, praise flowing. I chose silence, observing. After dinner, in the hallway lined with family portraits, I paused at one from last Thanksgiving. Sophia centered, beaming, me cropped at the edge, half visible. Lydia passed by. Lovely family shot, deliberate exclusion. Marcus joined me. This isn't right. I nodded. It's their script, me as footnote. Driving home, I confided. They're rewriting me out. He held my hand. We write our own story now. The next morning, over coffee in our cozy kitchen, Marcus suggested a walk in Piedmont Park. The paths were lined with joggers and blooming azaleas, the skyline peeking through trees. But peace evaded me. Sophia's always competed, I said. Marcus nodded. I've noticed her stares. Unease grew. Back home, Carla called. Heard from a mutual friend, Sophia's been texting Marcus oddly. Checking in. My heart sank. Jealousy wasn't new, but this felt predatory. That afternoon, at a cake tasting downtown, Sophia arrived uninvited, sampling flavors with flair, drawing the baker's attention. This would suit a real showstopper wedding, she quipped. Marcus shut it down. Elena's wedding is the show. Her eyes flashed resentment. Evening brought a family meeting at my parents'. Richard announced, we're covering costs but with input. Control, not generosity. Lydia praised Sophia's vision. I pushed back. This is our day. Silence fell, heavy with unspoken threats. As we left, Sophia whispered to Marcus, you deserve better. I overheard, fury simmering. Back off, I said. She smirked. Just advice. The damning pressure built. Explosion loomed. The days blurred into a whirlwind of final preparations, each laced with undercurrents of sabotage. At the florist's in Little 5 Points, vibrant with tulips and roses, Sophia helped by suggesting arrangements that screamed extravagance, ones that would overshadow the simplicity Marcus and I wanted. For a bride who shines, she said, her eyes on him. The florist nodded enthusiastically, but I intervened. We'll stick to our plan. Her smile tightened. Later, at home, Marcus showed me texts from her, subtle flirts disguised as concern. She's crossing lines, he said, deleting them. Anger boiled. But I held it, channeling it into resolve. We exposed this at the right time. Church rehearsal that evening was tense. The historic sanctuary, with its wooden pews and stained glass, should have felt sacred. Instead, Richard directed like a stage manager, positioning Sophia prominently. She'll walk first, draw eyes. Lydia nodded. Balance the aesthetics. My wheelchair? An afterthought. During the run-through, a cousin joked, Sophia looks bright already. Laughter echoed. Marcus gripped my hand. Ignore. But inside, the pressure mounted. Post-rehearsal. At a casual diner, Sophia sat too close to Marcus, laughing at his jokes. Touching his arm, I wheeled between them. Enough. She feigned innocence. Sisterly chat. Driving home, tears came. Why me? Marcus pulled over. Because you're strong, they fear that. His words steadied me, but doubt crept. Was our love siege-proof? The night before the wedding. Insomnia gripped me. Moonlight filtered through our bedroom window, casting shadows. Memories flooded. Childhood where Sophia got praise. I got pity after the accident that left me in the chair. Parents' favoritism. A slow poison. Marcus stirred. Can't sleep? I confessed fears. They'll try something. He held me. Together, we win. Dawn broke. Wedding day arriving with crisp Atlanta air. At the venue, the bridal suite buzzed. Hairstylists, makeup artists. Sophia entered. To assist. Her advice stripped condescension. That veil hides flaws. I removed it. No hiding today. Guests arrived. The church filling with murmurs. My best man, Jamal, Marcus's brother, pulled me aside. Got evidence of Sophia's schemes, voicemails, texts. My pulse quickened. Hold for now. As I waited in the antechamber. Wheels on polished floor, vows in hand. Richard knocked. A word. Inside. He and Lydia stood stern. Reconsider. Marcus deserves more. The jab landed. You mean able-bodied? Lydia softened falsely. We're protecting. I wheeled closer. From what? My strength? They exchanged glances. The inheritance, it's conditional on family unity. Blackmail. Fury rose. Unity means equality, not erasure. I left them stunned. The organ swelled. Time. Marcus at the altar, handsome in his tux, eyes locking mine with love. But as I approached, whispers grew. Sophia's face twisted subtly. The minister began, but tension crackled. Midway, Jamal stood. Objection. Gasps. Truth must out. He revealed Sophia's messages, flirtations, manipulations. She tried stealing the groom. Chaos erupted. Sophia denied shrilly. Lies. But evidence projected, texts on screen. Congregation buzzed. My parents defended weakly. Misunderstanding. But the dam cracked. Explosion imminent. The church erupted in a cacophony of shocked whispers and shifting seats as Jamal's revelations hung in the air like gun smoke. Sophia's face drained of color, her poised facade crumbling into raw panic. That's edited, she cried, voice pitching high. Richard stood, blustering. This is indecent. Family matters stay private. But the congregation's eyes hardened. Privacy didn't excuse betrayal. Lydia clutched her pearls, murmuring, we only wanted the best. I wheeled forward, voice steady amid the storm. The best? You mean erasing me for her? Murmurs swelled. An old teacher, Mrs. Klein, rose. Elena's fought battles you wouldn't imagine. She's no second best. Applause trickled, then thundered. For once, defense came from witnesses, not blood. Jamal wasn't done. There's more, the inheritance. He waved documents. Grandpa left it to Elena. Not you. Gasp sharpened. Richard's face reddened. Misinterpretation. But Jamal read aloud. Clear bequest to me. Withheld for control. The room tilted. Lydia stammered. For her own good. I locked eyes with them. Good? You stole my legacy to chain me. Whispers turned to outrage. Relatives shifted away from my parents' pew, leaving them isolated. Sophia lunged verbally. She doesn't deserve it, or him. Her mask shattered fully, revealing the envy beneath. Marcus knelt by me. I choose you for your fire, not despite challenges. Tears welled, but strength surged. Guests stood, applauding us, abandoning the front row entirely. My parents' empire of influence collapsed publicly, their silence damning. Yet, they rallied one last strike. Richard announced, without our support, You'll lose everything, community. Respect. Lydia added venom. She's fragile, she'll fail. Slander as final weapon. Fury ignited. I grabbed the mic. You raised me to doubt myself. But I rose despite you. This inheritance? It'll fund a center for the overlooked, so no one feels erased. Applause roared, drowning their protests. Sophia cracked utterly. It should have been mine. Guests recoiled. Her desperation exposed. Sympathy evaporated. Marcus declared, our futures built on truth. The tide turned irrevocably. My parents sat alone, shadows of their former selves. Vindication washed over me. Bittersweet justice, but scars deep. The reception hall adjacent buzzed with uneasy energy. Guests milling with plates untouched. The jazz band playing softly but futilely against the undercurrent of scandal. Marcus and I entered to scattered applause that grew genuine, his hand on my shoulder a anchor. My parents stood defiantly near the cake, glasses raised. To resilience, Richard toasted hollowly. Lydia echoed. To family bonds. But the clinks were sparse. Eyes averted. They thought words could mend what truth had torn. Sophia hovered, chin high, but cracks showed. Richard leaned in later. Walk away. And lose our backing, the money, the network. Lydia sneered. She'll crumble without us. Character assassination. Their last gasp. I rose metaphorically, mic in hand. You tried erasing me with shame. Now slander? But I stand, wheeled, but unbroken. Marcus joined. We choose honesty over control. I announced. The inheritance builds hope, not walls. Cheers erupted. Final nail in their coffin. Sophia shattered. You stole my life. Guests whispered condemnation. Isolation complete. My family diminished. Marcus whispered. Our beginning. I raised a glass. Cruelty forged my strength. I rise beyond it. Applause wrapped us. Later. Alone. Reflection hit. Was victory worth the ruin? Healing loomed. But questions lingered. Could blood mend? In the end, I wasn't just a bride. I was reborn. Light eclipsing shadows. But at what cost to the soul?